In the last lesson in this mini-series, we took Stevie Wonder's clavinet riff from the song Superstition, and we began to shape the sound by using fretting hand muting technique to inject some of that funky feel into a guitar version of this classic riff. So we showed how, without any muting technique, it sounds like this. By adding first staccato muting technique, and then what I call percussive muting technique, we begin to give the sound some sort of a rhythmic definition. Now in this lesson we're going to tweak the actual tonal quality of the sound by applying a couple of picking hand muting techniques. The first of these is called palm muting. This takes us from this sound to this. So as the name suggests, what we're doing is using the palm of the picking hand just to mute or damp down the vibration of the strings just this side of the bridge. And you notice that we can get quite a range of damping effect, starting with 0 if the palm is this side of the bridge, to very slight as we just begin to encroach on the strings, and then it quickly increases as we move the hand further onto the strings this side of the bridge. Until when we come perhaps sort of about a centimetre onto the strings, half an inch, we've practically turned the guitar into a percussion instrument. One of the points about palm muting that is not often fully appreciated is that it can enable you to work with much higher levels of energy than you might otherwise attempt without muting. This extra energy may simply come from hitting the strings harder. That would sound pretty rough without the palm muting. Or I might feed in some extra sustain from on the amp. Again, without the palm muting, that would sound like this. To apply the final touch to our funky Stevie Wonder riff, I'm going to apply some pinch harmonics. This will change our sound from this to this. So this technique involves using the flesh on the edge of the thumb, what you're trying to do is have the string bounce off the tip of the plectrum onto the thumb. So you have to have the plectrum quite far in, have it quite choked, as we say, and pick quite hard, and just as it flies off the pick, it just catches the edge of the thumb, and you get that harmonic sound, that very high-pitched sound. And this sound will vary according to how far along the string you're picking. See if you can hear it change. So notice that in this case we're only using the thumb, not the finger, for playing our harmonics. But this is only because in this particular riff we're using all downstrokes. In general use, there's no reason at all not to use the finger as well. So on the upstroke, the string catches the finger after the pick. Back to our Superstition riff, let's now review all 4 layers of muting technique that we've added and listen to what effect each layer has as we work towards the result we're looking for. Starting with a totally straight sound using no muting technique at all. I then add in the staccato muting, and then percussive muting. Get that nice continuous rhythmic movement going with my picking hand. Now I bring in the palm of my picking hand to bring in the palm muting sound. So I can crank up the power from my amp or FX if I want to. And then finally I add the pinch harmonics to get that peculiar funky sound going. So I hope that gives you some idea of the scope of these different muting techniques and encourages you to experiment with them yourself. In the next few lessons, I'll address the subject of strumming in general and of strumming patterns in particular. And we'll take a view on how you should approach these subjects at every level of your development as a guitar player, right on from complete beginner up to advanced professional level. I look forward to seeing you for those lessons.